Good morning, Glenda Mollett here, and I'm in my craft room stamping with you today, making another one of the September 2020 Gnome for the Holidays monthly stamping club cards. Man, that's a mouthful. So we're going to make this fun fold. It's kind of like a Z fold card. So the only thing is that these two little tabs make it a little difficult. So if you want to cut those off in your version, you can. And that's how it opens. So we're going to do a lot of coloring. Okay, and this is the envelope, and those are the trees from Friesen Fun. Yeah, Friesen Fun. Okay, so for this we're going to use real red card base, that's 11 by 4 1/4, a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 for the inside, a piece of Feels Like Frost designer paper 5 1/4 by 4. Now some of you got them going this way and some of you got them going that way because I messed up and cut things wrong at one point. So we have a piece of that. Whisper White 3 by 4 for the front die cut, and 2 by 3 for the front sentiment. And then there's a piece that is 2.5 by 10, and it is scored at 4 and 8. So that's the mechanism for the inside. 2.5 by 3 3/4. So that's for the inside. That's over on this. And it layers on a piece of real red that is 2 3/8 by 3 7/8. We're using all the trimmings, enamel embellishments. Using the Celebration label dies and the Ornate frames dies. The stamp sets are Gnome for the Holidays, Celebration Tidings, and that's that one. This is the stamp set that's bundled with the Celebration label dies, these big ones. And we're also using the Friesen Fun. I love these trees. They're really cool. Okay. So there's some die cutting to do. This is the envelope. Did I show you that? Well, if not, there it is. That's the envelope. Okay. Just going to refresh and make sure I'm oriented properly before I do any die cutting or anything. So this piece I'm going to put to the side, and all of these other pieces. So the first thing we need to do is attach your designer paper to the card front, and then we have to cut it out. So when you do this, don't put adhesive in the center because we need to use that center piece and flip it around. So I'm just going to put adhesive around the outside, and I'm using my Stampin' Seal. I remembered to get it out this time. Okay, so now this just layers onto here like that. Okay, now we need the biggest frame. It's not the biggest frame in the frames, it's actually number 3. So 1, and then this one is number 2, and this one is number 3. This one is huge, and it makes awesome tag toppers. Okay, so the biggest of the two we're going to use, and then we're going to put it on there. So I need my magnetic platform, and you have to open your card up. Oh, so let me check, make sure, yeah, I'm oriented properly. Okay, so this is going to go on here. We're going to kind of center it and make sure it's not crooked or too crooked, and then I'm going to run that through the machine. My Maxi. I'm calling the new Stampin' Emboss and die cutting machine Maxi because there's the Mini and there's the Maxi. So this is the big one that I have. Okay, so now this just pops out like this. Now because we didn't put adhesive on the center, we can just separate these two. It takes a little bit because the stitch lines hold it together really well. That's why you don't have to worry about it separating on your card front. Come on. Oh, shoot. I got some adhesive on there. That's why it's not coming apart. Okay, just be careful where you put your adhesive on. I need to find my adhesive eraser because we need to use this side. So I'm just running my finger till I find where the adhesive is and just take it off. As we need to use this, and I don't want card to stick to anything. There we are. Okay, so now this we're going to turn around and put on here like this. So if you look at the inside of the card, there's the striped piece of designer paper in there. Now you have to be careful because it's not really ambidextrous, this die cut, so it doesn't line up very well one way and it lines up really well the other way. So you just have to play with it a bit to see which side lines up better. There we go. So now we're going to attach that. Put some stamp and seal on there. You want to make sure you get good adherage. Oh, and of course now I don't know which way it's going to... Okay, we're going to have to play with it. Make sure I get the right way, going the right way. Okay, that'll do. So now the tricky part is to get this lined up. So, because you want it to be perfectly on top of each other. So line it up before you push down. Yeah, line it up before you push it down. Okay, I think I've got this on upside down. One way it fits really good, the other way it's off just a hair. There, that's better. That's going on there a little bit better. There. So that's that done. We can put that off to the side for now. Now we're going to take this one and I'm going to die cut it with the smaller die like that. And yes, I'm die cutting it first because I want to know how big I can make or how far apart I can put the tree and the gnome. And I'm just running it through Maxi here. That over there. All right, now we need to put on the gnome. So I'm going to ink him up. And he's going to go on this side. And I'm paying attention to his feet because I want his feet to be flat, straight. He's a little, it looks like you need to put him this way, but that would make his feet not flat on the ground. So there we go. Okay, and the little tree. So we're using both of the trees. So I want the little one. Make sure you go down far enough so that when you put your Merry Christmas, you can put the star on the top. This one was a tad on the high side, so I'm going to move this one down a bit more. There we go. All right, so while I've got the ink out, let's stamp the envelope too. So I'm stamping the big tree and stamping the little tree. And then we'll stamp the inside as well. Okay, lay it down flattish for you. So here's the inside piece. And get this cute little darling. I think she is so cute with this tree on her head. That's that. And I'll do the sentiment in a minute. And then I need this piece of white that layers onto the red. And I'm going to get my dirty paper because I want to make sure that when I stamp the tree house, I stamp it right up at the top. Ink it up good. And put this on here. And I'm going right up so that I have it off of the top. Like that. Now, holly jolly everything. Now you see I put that on sideways. Then you don't have to line everything up. Okay, that's all the black stamping. Now we'll get the real red out. And find that. Put the dirty paper away. Oh, there it is. Where did I put my inside? Okay, there's no place. No, I said on the last video I wasn't going to sing, but every time I get this stamp, I want to sing that song. So there's that. Now we get the little piece, and we're going to stamp Merry Christmas, and then die cut it. There. So I think we've done all the stamping now. That out of the way. So let's die cut this. So this is going to be die cut, double cut, like we do when sentiments are too long. Put this back. So we're doing that. I'm just lining it up straight, and I'm going to run it through once. Like that. Okay, so now we take this off, and we're going to move this along. And I'm just making sure that it's seated down in there, and you can feel when it sits. And I'm just going to run it through again. And we don't have to worry about whether we cut that other end or not, because it's right off the paper. So whip that through. And there we are. And it cuts that little bit off. So this is just garbage. Okay. Right. Do some coloring. Now you can get creative. I'm using Stampin' Blends this time. This is Granny Apple Green for the tree. One thing about this stamp set is there's lots of coloring, but it's small space coloring, so it's not like you have to do a ton of shading. You can use your Stampin' Write markers, or you can use blends. Doesn't matter, either one. Okay, so we'll do some, some yellow. And we'll do some red. Then I added purple in there too, because I can. So that was dark real red. This is dark. Oh, apparently I used the other color. This is dark Highland Heather. There we go. And then I'm going to color the star, but you don't really need to because we're going to put an embellishment on there anyways. All right, so now we need to color the holly, and I'm using the light Granny Apple Green for that, and the red. And I'm going to do her shoes red. And face is ivory. And like that, and then her décolletage there, and her hands. And I'll use the light Highland Heather for her dress. Oh, look what I just did. That's supposed to be her apron. Oh well, this dress only has a bottom apron, doesn't have the top as well. Go with the flow. Right, there we are. And get the light cinnamon cider for her hair. There we are. Inside is done. So I'm going to put that off to the side. Now we have the tree. Light cinnamon cider all over, and make sure you go right to the top. Oops. And this is a bigger area, but it's got enough lines on it that if you don't want to blend it, you don't have to. I'm just not going over top of a wire for the lights, because I'm going to do that in Smoky Slate. And then just be careful when you go down here. You don't color the grass all brown. Well, you could have brown grass if you want brown grass. Kind of like your card. You could basically do what you want. Now I choose to think of this as a window. So we're going to do something, we're going to do yellow in there. And this is the light cinnamon cider that I'm putting down first. There we are. There. So now I'm going to go back in with the dark and just do the lines. And because I've got a good base coat on, it's automatically just blending in. Oh, I hope you can't hear my tummy. So I'm going to do around the edge of the window in dark and the edge of the door as well. Now you can go back over with the light if you want, or you don't have to, because it's done a really good job of blending in already. Okay, now we need Daffodil Delight. Now we're going to do this window. We're going to do this window. going to do some light bulbs. Okay, now I need my red. We'll do the door. Red door. And I'm going to do the handle a different color. Let's try not to do over top of your grass again. And I'm just doing this dark. I'm not blending. I'm not going to do any blending with it at all. But, of course, if you want, you're welcome to blend. So there's the red. Now this is basic black. And I'm just going to do the window frame and the doorknob in black. And I forgot to do these. There we are. And now we'll get pumpkin pie out. We'll do a pumpkin pie light. And we'll get out the granny apple green and do a green light. Oh, and while I'm at it, I'll do the leaves and the grass. And I just have the light here. And you can do the dark if you want. Here we are. Now we need gray. Gray. So I'm going to use the dark gray for the pebbles. Like that. And then, oh, apparently I didn't get out. Well, let's just see. Okay. So I only got light out, so apparently I was wrong. Light smoky slate for the pebbles, light smoky slate for the string, and for the top of the light bulbs. There we go. That's that color. Put that off to the side. We'll close this and we'll work on him. Let's give him a red striped hat. These gnomes are so fun to work with, and I love how they don't have to be Christmas. So I'm doing a Facebook Live tomorrow. So when I record this, I'm recording this on Wednesday the 26th of August. So tomorrow is my Facebook Live Thursday Zoom drop-in, and I'm going to make a gnome card that says hello. No Christmas involved. There we are. I think that's it for the red. Now I'm going to use light cinnamon cider, sorry, for his beard. Because this is not an old elf, this is a young elf. Because elves don't have to be old, they can be young. Okay, now I'm going to take the dark and I'm just going to do a little highlights, just a little bit around his nose and then under his nose and his mustache there, and then some up from the bottom, some streaks in the middle, and go back in with my light and blend it all together. There we are. And we'll do dark Highland Heather for his nightshirt or his gnome gown or whatever it is. There we are. The ivory for his face and hands. And some light granny apple green, no, dark granny apple green, I think we'll do is the other stripe in his socks. And then light granny apple green for the mistletoe and the tree. I love the clean lines of these trees. It is just... So this one I did in dark, and this one I did in light. And you know, I think I like the dark better. So I'm just going to go over top. So that's the beauty of these markers. If you decide, oh, I want that to be the dark one instead, you just go over top of it. Oh yes, that's better. And then it looks so washed out. There. Now I just have to put a little bit of light smoky slate on the ornament. And it's done. There we go. Okay, all of our pieces are done. Now let's do some assembly work. So the first thing to do is to lay out your mechanism. So this one goes here right up against the fold like that, right in the middle. So we can attach that. So right somewhere in the middle-ish. Right there, like that. Now this one fits back in here, but remember to do your dry run first. There we go, because see, it does not fit in the other way properly. So you want to make sure that you get it in there properly, and it will stay in there so it won't move. Now we're going to put a little bit of, wait a minute, yep. Had to make sure I was putting it in the right spot. Right, so now with that folded over, I just close this. And then it will go in the spot that it needs to be in. And then when you open it, there it is. Now, this one, I'm going to experiment, and I may ruin the card and wish I had never done this, but I'm just going to cut off those little tips right there, because I think the card will work a little bit better. Yeah, it does. All right, so now this goes on flat. On the front. I'm kind of going to center it. Pay attention to where the little indentations are there. Now this we're going to pop up on dimensionals. And one in the middle, so it doesn't collapse, and that's just going to go right here, right like that. Okay, so take the backings off of those. Oops. No, let's do it crooked. For some reason, I feel the need to put it in there crooked. There. Because we can. Because you know what? It's our card. All right. So on this side, we're going to put this over top. And that's why the gnome is on this side. Oops. Okay, so now this is going to go in here like this, right over top of that mechanism piece. And then on the other side, we're going to take this and layer it onto the real red. This is sticky stuff. Okay, so now that goes on here like that. And then it goes on the mechanism like that. And the mechanism is perfect for framing that, so you need adhesive on the whole thing. Apparently, I don't have to add quite as much adhesive as I was. Yeah, I just get carried away with my adhesive sometimes. It's better to have too much than have your card fall apart. There we are. I had a sudden horrible thought that I stuck that on there upside down. Alright, so now let's get out all the trimmings embellishments. And put some on. I'm going to put a star on top of the tree. And a star on top of the tree. And then we're going to put 1, 2, 3 red dots. One. And you can use small ones or big ones. And if you want, add a white one. Okay, let's just stick a white one. Right there. Oops, that one came off. Got the flying everywhere. All right. So there we are. Oh, I didn't color the envelope, so I'm just going to do a quick color job on the envelope. And don't push too hard because you don't want this going through your envelope. You can always add a piece of scrap paper inside there. I don't usually color the envelopes, but this one needs to be colored. I don't know why, just 'cause I can. It's real quick, and there's no shading and no blending, nothing involved. Just straight back and forth coloring. There we go. And we're done. Put away some stuff so I can put the cards out here for you. So there it is with the stripes going one way. Here it is with the stripes going the other way because I didn't do my prep right. But it works. So there you go. There's another card for the September monthly club. I hope you enjoy making these gnome cards because I sure do. They are sweet. You can do so much with them. You know, I'm just looking at the mistletoe and it looks washed out. So let's just make it dark. Granny apple green instead. There we go. That's better. Okay. That's it. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stampin' Smiles and bye for now.